This film, taken just a few minutes after the shooting, is not a reconstruction.
Here is Clyde Barrow and Bonnie Parker, who died as they lived, by the gun. Bonnie is seen leaning against Clyde. Clyde was a master gunman. Seldom did anyone ever live when Clyde got the first shot.
Hello.
Hi, Chicken. How are you?
Hi, it was that Bonnie Ann Clyde.
This is Bonnie Ann Clyde calling from Sweden.
Oh, Sweden? Are you in Sweden?
No, 12 points. No, I'm kidding. I'm joking.
Okay.
Wish I was in Sweden.
Oh, don't we all? Thank you for joining me today, honey. And I hope you're ready to get started.
I am. Let's do this.
Let's do it. Okay, so how did James come up with the idea of Bonnie Ann Clyde? Where did you get that fab name from?
Oh, I'm actually named after my dead cats.
Oh.
The two cats when I was kids, and they were named after obviously the gangsters, Bonnie and Clyde. And then I was like, when your drag name, you pick your stripper name is your first pet and the street you lived on. So I was like, Bonnie's a good name. I'd like the name Bonnie. Nobody has it. And then I kind of I love drag queens who have like puns in their names.
Yeah, sure.
They're the best kind of names. And I was like, Bonnie and Clyde works. So that's how we got that.
Adds a bit of elegance to your character.
Exactly.
Okay, so how long have you been doing drag, and how did you find getting into the drag scene?
I would say I'm probably at like 2.5 years now. I've been at it. Yeah, 2.5 years. And getting into it, I kind of, for the first, because everyone starts off and they do like the bedroom drag. So I did the bedroom drag for about maybe like a summer, maybe 3 months. And then in college, I'm a college drag queen. That's where I started. We just basically, in our LGBT society, we set up like a workshop, and we just decided, you know what, whoever wants to try it can try it. And I tried it and I liked it, and it kind of went off from there.
And how do you find performing, on the scene in Dublin? Would you get regular gigs? How you find it?
I love Dublin. I work every Monday in the George, which is probably the premier kind of like gay bar.
Yeah.
In probably on the island, probably I'd say. So I do every single Monday there as like a kind of guest act / stage hand person. That's a lot of fun. And then I do a couple occasional gigs around the place. Nothing else is like solid. That's my only like solid one. But I'd be doing occasional Thursdays, a couple charity gigs here and there, a few college things,
Yeah. And so what sort of character would you say Bonnie Ann Clyde is? Do you have a sort of style, or do you try and keep Bonnie a certain way?
Yeah, I don't want to do like too many different things, because you want to present yourself in a certain way, and that when people hear your name or see your act, they're kind of like, okay, that's who she is, and that's what she does. And you also kind of ground yourself then, and you know exactly what direction you're going in. So I'd say for Bonnie, she is very much just kind of like, originally it was always, I love like the vintage and the kind of the polka dots and the big dresses and all that 1950s stuff. And I kind of, from that, I've kind of evolved into, she's much more of a kind of, I would say probably like hilarious social commentary kind of drag queen. She's a bit, what's the word? She's
I like to say classic vintage, but with a modern twist.
Oh yeah, she's kind of, I wear the big dresses with the poofy skirts, but then you never know, underneath there might be kind of a booty short.
And how have you found you said 2 years you've been doing drag, or so you've done your contests. How do you find those? Do you like them? Do you prefer not to do them?
I love contests. I'm really competitive. I never ever won a contest. I don't have a single drag queen title to my name, but I love doing them. I'd say now that I'm kind of reached the 2.5 year mark, I'm kind of set in a way. I don't see myself going for many more contests in the future.
Yeah.
I think it would be almost a waste for me to try and do them when there could be like another new drag queen coming up on the scene could take my place. I don't think it's fair for me to kind of, now that I'm relatively established.
Yeah.
I like to kind of think I'm kind of nearly done with competitions, unless they brought back alternative Miss Ireland or something like that.
That would be brilliant. And would you be a big fan of the big TV hit show RuPaul's Drag Race? Are you really into it, or are you
Which one's that? I've never heard of that one. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, no, I adore it. It's amazing.
Yeah. I'm sort of against it in a way. I just feel like many drag queens now, I feel like that's the be all and end all of drag. Right. Am I wrong? Do you feel like it's a good influence for everybody?
I think it's at the end of the day, regardless of what negative impact it's had, it's opened up kind of everyone to drag who has Netflix now, because it's on Netflix. The new season's on Netflix. It's amazing. The idea that you can flick on Netflix and see modern drag queens like doing their thing. I think everyone just has to kind of take it with a grain of salt, and you will have people, and especially a lot of the baby drags on the scene, will be looking at it and be like, oh, that is what drag is, and I follow that to the letter. But I think as long as you take it with a grain of salt and you see, okay, it's a type of drag, at the end of the day, it's a TV show that casts drag queens who are also good reality TV stars.
Sure.
They're not just drag queens. They have to be good reality TV stars to be on that show. So I think we just have to take it with a grain of salt, yeah.
Sure. And everybody in drag always finds their close friends and not so close friends. So if you had to pick a little team to go into battle of 3 drag queens, who would you pick to be on your team?
Oh, to be honest, I'd say for the Irish queens, the ones who I love the most, I would choose Ms. Aquarius would be on my team, Blue Hydrangea would be on my team.
Yeah.
Roots. I pick Roots as well.
Yeah, like Roots. I'm not too familiar with Roots. I really want to get to know Roots. I've seen she's done The Apprentice there.
She did.
Yeah,
she did. She's only a fetus. She's just a newborn.
Yeah, and she's really interesting. I really want to get to know her a bit more now. What could you tell us about Roots?
Oh, I've known Roots for about 10 years now at this stage.
Yeah,
it's kind of people don't realize that we've actually known each other way before we were cross-dressers. Yeah, she's in kind of a new face on the scene. Very high energy, lots of kicks and twirls. She's set in her ways and she knows what she wants. So I'm very excited to see what she's going to be doing in the future.
Yeah, and you mentioned Blue Hydrangea there. What fascinates you about Blue?
She's probably the best. Like I don't even want to say up and coming anymore, because she's so well established in what she's done over the past year and a half that she's been doing drag. But she's probably the best. If we want to say baby drag, she's the best baby drag on the scene.
Yeah.
In all of Ireland.
And she has developed quite quickly. That's the best thing about it. Some take years to just get that.
She just has a natural talent for it.
Exactly. And, well, what about Bodyy? Does Bodyy have a favourite moment on stage that you recall that, you went, that was Bodyy, that was me, that was my perfect sort of performance there?
Oh, I'd say I don't do them too often because they're not as popular down in Dublin, but I love doing a mix.
Yeah.
With a cock-a-doodle-doo. Good morning.
And I do this, one of my favourite notes to do is like a que sera sera thing.
Uh-huh.
And I mix it in, it's the Doris Day version, I mix it in with, what is it? I mix it in with Taken, with Liam Neeson. There's a scene from Precious in there, and I also finish it off with a Joan Crawford moment. And I did that for the first week of The Divine Apprentice, and it went down really well. And I'd say that's probably like quintessential. If I have to do a number, that's my number that I'm going to do.
And you mentioned there, and I've also heard myself that on the drag scene in Dublin, performance-wise, mixes aren't really well received. What do you think's behind that? I know in Belfast mixes are essential. If you do like a solo song, it can be quite tedious and boring.
I think like the scene in Dublin and the audiences in Dublin, just because of the venues, they're a lot bigger. And as a result of that, your audience is going to be a lot more mixed. Like you will have, obviously the Irish people will be there. You'll have the straight people will be there, but you'll also have tourists and stuff. So the best way to kind of present yourself to the crowd who may not be the best English speakers or might just want to be there for like just a solid number. I think that's why numbers are so popular in Dublin, that they just work so well because they suit the majority of the people in the audience a lot better.
Sure. And you done Drag Hens down there not that long ago. How did you find it with the twists and the whole contest? How did you feel about it?
I was like, will Aurora eliminate me or not? Yeah, there was an elimination stage, and I was kind of nervous, but no, I really enjoyed myself doing that. It was an experience because I'd never even been to Limerick before anyway, so I had a great time.
Yeah. And you done frocks as well. How did you find coming to Belfast?
Oh, that was one of my kind of first. It was probably my second drag competition, and I really enjoyed the experience. Like, I came up and I did my thing, and I came in the top 5, I think, and I had a great time.
And do you have like a really cringeworthy moment that Bonnie just wishes she could erase from all memory?
Oh, has there been any time?
Have you failed?
I shifted someone in drag once.
Oh, did you?
Not properly, but a little bit. That's probably what I'd erase.
Oh, okay.
Get rid of that.
And what's your sort of take on the Ringmasters Drag Race? How do you feel about that?
Oh, I love the Ringmasters. I did that. I did it last year, was it? When it was just the one night. And I think Ringmasters was great because I remember even before I started doing drag, all the videos were up on YouTube, and I would always be watching it and kind of following it and seeing who got eliminated and stuff. So it's a fun kind of process. Like, I can't wait to see who's in it this summer. Yeah, I think it's coming back.
It's going to be a very good show. So if anybody was to say to you, Bonnie, I want to do drag, I really want to get into it, what's the best way to go about it? What would you advise them to do?
Stop, turn around and leave the building. Yeah. Don't do it. It's not worth it. I don't know. The best way to do it, like, I think competitions are great for new people because it really gets them, the main thing is it gets them like a slot. So have a look. Like, Ringmasters is coming in the summer, so if anyone's looking to start doing drag, I'd say just send Paul Ryder a message, and I'm sure he'd be happy to have you if it's not too full up already. Get a nice lace front. Find your kind of gig, find your niche. Don't be copying what other people are doing just because they do it well. Like, it might not work for you.
Exactly. Yeah. And
just keep practicing.
That's it.
Don't give up.
And so what if Bonnie had the chance to host her own night, or was given a slot to do her own night? What would you do with it?
I love like the cabaret shows. Like, I just think that's kind of the most. You can do so much with it performance-wise, because I just, as a drag queen, like, I love performing. It's the best thing about it. So I'd love like a cabaret-style show where I could have like a troupe of drag queens, and we just do whatever we wanted on the night. Couple rehearsed numbers, couple solo numbers, and just really kind of something in the middle to break it up. But, just the kind of a quintessential drag show is what I'd love to do.
Yeah. And are you working any time soon, Bonnie? You say you do every Monday night, yeah?
I do, yeah.
And who would you perform with?
I would like that. The Monday night is the Win Loser Drag night in the George.
Okay.
So that's like, it's a game show. It's hosted by Filthy Gorgeous and Bunny. And what they would do, they play games, and they would do. We also do the drag numbers, and we give away prizes. So it's myself and Ms. Aquarius would be like the kind of stagehand / guest performers. So we would do that every Monday. It's just a fun little gig on Monday. It's not like ever overly crowded, but it's always fun.
It's just nice, yeah. So if there's one thing Bonnie could better herself on, or change about herself, or alter, what do you think it would be?
Ooh, I would say probably costumes. I'd love to get a couple more. I'd love to be able to sew.
So yeah, make your own costumes.
My own stuff. Yeah, that's. I think if I had to change one thing about the way I do drag, I would sew and make my own stuff.
The opportunities would just be endless if we were all great sewers.
Wouldn't it? Because I get ideas in my head and I think of concepts, and I'm like, oh, I'd love to do that, and then my kind of default thing is to be like, oh, I'll just go on boohoo.com and see if they have anything similar.
Yeah. So what do you think the next 5 years brings for Bonnie Ann Clyde? Do you think it's going to, develop? Do you think you're going to be sticking to the drag?
Oh, God, yeah. I love it so much. RuPaul's Drag Race, UK, here I come.
Yes, absolutely.
Like, that's the goal. No, I'd love to just keep going, see where the wind takes me. Like, it's always about the opportunities. You have to make some yourself, but you never know, some others might pop up, so I'm really excited to see where it goes.
It's all about the work you put in.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Keep it going.
Keep it going. This is it. And do you think there's enough room for all these new drag talents? Do you think it's going to get a bit crowded in Ireland with all the popular new faces coming up? And do you think there's going to be enough room for everybody?
I think so. I think like there every single year you always get kind of around Halloween, towards Christmas. I think there's always a surge of kind of baby drags, and I think this time of year everybody kind of like thinks there's so many people on the scene and that there's too much going on. But like eventually people drop off, and of course the regular faces occasionally people drop off as well. So I think it's just a case of there's always room for people to do performances. There's always room for people to start their own shows. Like drag queens are mostly self-starters, so
yeah, and it's kind of shame.
I think there's plenty of room.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
I can.
Oh, brilliant. Okay. So we'll carry on. I'm going to give you a quick fire list of drag queens, and I want you to give me one word answer on each of them. Is that all right?
If I say terrible for all of them, is that bad?
That's fabulous. Okay, you ready?
I'm ready. Go ahead.
Okay, Paul Ryder.
Bald. That's I'm doing the first thing that comes to my head. I hope I don't offend anybody.
I just wasn't expecting it. Okay, Regina George.
Fish.
Victoria's Secret.
Drag Race.
Alexis McQueen.
Lips.
I'm loving this.
Lips for days.
Dolly Grip.
Mad.
Oh, Blue Hydrangea.
I do love her. Ooh, genius.
Sabrina Bewitched.
Witchy.
Witchy.
That's almost out for that.
Okay, that's fab. I'll put you on the spot. So I think we've done enough, Bonnie. I want to thank you for your time today.
Oh, I had a great time. Thank you so much for having me on.
And is there any specific pictures you don't want me to use?
Just the one that you've been using all the time of me with the red hair. Stop using that one.
Okay. I know I usually have like a go-to picture of each drag queen I have in my archive.
That one is it's a nice HD one. There's some lovely HD ones at the Divine Apprentice you can use.
Sure. Okay. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me.
No worries. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.